So this puzzle is from a brand called Flow. It's called Dare to Dream. And so the scene is of a woman sitting in a nice chair, looking at a very cozy, comfortable scene. So um, these pieces were a little bit different than the normal pieces I work with. So I tend to like matte puzzles much more than glossy puzzles. These were a little bit glossy, which made it a little bit tough just because you can start to see it starting to get a little dark in my puzzle room. I've got natural light coming in onto the table, but it made some of the pieces hard to see. Fortunately, the puzzle had fairly bright colors in it, so while it was glossy, it was not too glossy. It was not a white glossy puzzle, which is the worst. But I was able to start to pick out some of the patterns. What I did with this puzzle was actually chose to not do the border first. A couple reasons. One, the border looked like it had a lot of repeating elements that would have slowed me down pretty substantially. Another part was that I didn't really have a sense of how big the puzzle was going to be, and I decided if I built a lot of these small chunks, it would be easier then to go back, connect them, and build the border around them. So generally I do build the border first. I really like having kind of a visual overview of what I'm working with. There are a lot of people who don't build the border first, so, you know, mileage may vary. So I started to pick out some of these zebra pieces. So generally a zebra would be exactly the right thing to leave to last because zebras are notoriously difficult. There was actually a national championship in somewhere in Scandinavia, I'm blanking on exactly where there was a zebra and it was like a notoriously difficult puzzle. And so generally, if you can, you want to leave zebras and things with fur to the end. In this case, they were fairly easy to spot, and given the choice between zebra and plant, I went zebra. Plants are also awful. Leave plants till the end if you can. So now I'm starting to see some of the color chunks. So the bottom of the puzzle's really starting to come together because I've actually been able to see so many of those chunks. This was actually a pretty nice puzzle. So I pulled those zebra pieces and started to build that zebra. As I mentioned before, it was probably a bad idea, and you can see here I have realized it was a bad idea. And I have moved on to doing other pieces. No more zebra. Now actually starting to fill in the zebra. So some of those pieces on the right-hand side that have the little blue dots are actually lettering. Lettering is one of those things I find deceptive. You always think it's going to be easy, and it's always not easy. So it was very much I'm going to wait until the very end. I'm going to build around that. I'm going to build all of the other things, and then I'll go deal with this lettering. One of the challenges was also the lettering and the zebra colors are actually very similar. And so as I was pulling zebra pieces, I ended up accidentally pulling a lot of lettering pieces as well. So there we go. We've got some lettering now. I'm filling in the border as I go. It's a lot of blue pieces, so not super fast. This would not be a bad moment for me if I had shape sorted and just knocked out all of those little blue pieces. I'm doing it without shape sorting, which worked fine because there just weren't that many pieces. So now trying to fill in the remainder, which are these little plants. Plants are always annoying because they have repeating elements and it's impossible to see the difference. So just filling all of those in. Doing a little bit of opportunistic shape sorting. I should be doing more. That's a pretty common refrain for myself. There we are.